Okay, it is 1 minute past the half hour, so yeah, let's get started directly. This talk today is about increasing Project Fugu API adoption. And as one concrete example, I want to present quickly the Project Fugu API Showcase. For those who don't know me, my name is Thomas Steiner. I go by Tomayak on most places on the internet, so Twitter, GitHub, and so on. You will find me as Tomayak. I'm also at tomayak.com. I work for Google as a developer relations engineer on the Project Fugu team. And if you want to follow along, you can see the slides at goo.gle/BlinkOn16-Fugu. And with that, I want to get going with some numbers. Because, why are we even talking about increasing adoption of APIs when we don't really know what we're talking about? So I dug into the numbers and I created a spreadsheet. Woo! This is open, so if you want to access it, use the QR code. And what this does is essentially it gets data from Chrome status and looks at the percentage of page loads that use a given feature. And yeah, you can see here I've just pulled all these numbers and created a couple of nice charts. Well, nice as in nice charts as Google Sheets can produce them. And yeah, I will quickly go through. Okay, I'm hearing some background noise of someone getting some, I don't know, is it M&Ms? Can you please mute your microphone? Thank you. Okay, so let's get going with the file system access API. And it's relatively small, but hopefully you can still see it. Blue is show open file picker, red is show save file picker, and yellow is show directory picker. And you can see there's the ups and downs of each day, but then if you imagine this overall curve, you can see that directory picker stays almost flattish. It goes up a little, but the two others, if you were to draw a curve, I'm not sure yet how Google Sheets can do that, but probably there's a way. But if you were to draw like a middle curve for those, you would see that things move up. If you look at the absolute numbers on the Y axis, you can see we're still talking small numbers. So definitely we have an upgoing trend, but at the same time, we're talking about really low absolute numbers. This is the origin private file system, and there are two functions that are relevant here. Navigator.storage.getDirectory, which gives you, as the name suggests, a local root directory that you can work with. And then we have file system file handle create access handle, which you may remember from the Photoshop Google I/O talk that I had the pleasure to give. And you can see maybe, and I'm pretty sure it's thanks to Adobe Photoshop, there's this red curve that does go up. Again, super, super low numbers, but we have a very clear upwards trend. Next, I want to look at a couple of other file system related things. So there we have a data transfer item, get as file system handle, which gives you, as the name suggests, from a data transfer item that you get via drag and drop API, a file system file handle, file system handle, which can be a directory handle or a file handle. And there you can also see the trend goes up, which is all great. And you may remember that with the WebShare API, you can also share files. And also there you can see there's a somewhat upgoing trend. It's going a little down at the end, but I think overall, if you were to draw this imaginary curve, it would still go up. So that's very good news so far. Looking at the clipboard, we have four functions there. We have two related to text. This is blue and red. Read text and write text for, as the name suggests, writing and reading text into and from the clipboard. And you can see what you would expect. Writing text, so putting stuff on the clipboard, is more popular than reading from the clipboard. Both curves go up. But we also have rich clipboard support where you can copy and paste images in various formats now. And these are yellow and green, and they also go up. But again, very small absolute numbers. We have hardware APIs, and this is pretty curious here because we can maybe see a Christmas gadget peak. So that's my theory. I don't have anything to back this up, but it's really around the Christmas time where we can see everything hardware API related go up. So concretely, we're talking about blue, Bluetooth, red, USB, yellow, HID. I just heard Riley say HID. I always say HID, so I will say HID from now on, and serial. So you can see all these curves have a peak around Christmas, and then all these curves also have a relatively steady, but also maybe slightly positive upwards trend. So again, small absolute numbers, but the trend goes in the right direction. But this is only part of what we see, because there's also another way of looking at data, and this is from the HTTP archive. So just quick reminder, these curves and these charts were based on what we saw eventually from Chrome status, so usage counters or use counters. Here I'm going to present about HTTP archive, where we look at the response bodies of pages that are in the HTTP archive corpus. I've written about, sorry, not I, Christian Liebel, one of our Google developer experts. I reviewed, but Chris has written the content about this in the Web Almanac on the capabilities chapter, so you can read up in detail on this. But essentially what we did was we created like detecting patterns where we look based on regular expressions at the response body, so at the source code of pages that we obtain by crawling the web, like things we have in the HTTP archive. And then we detect by static code analysis if there are clues that a certain API might be used by a given page. The good news is actually the two curves match pretty well. So on the left-hand side, you can see static code analysis. So the thing is, this may not necessarily be code that's being called. This is code that is in the source code. And then on the right-hand side, you can see Chrome status, absolute number. So this is definitely pages that use a given API. Like if you imagine a little like these curves that I've talking about that would sort of get away with the up and down of each day, you can see that the two curves match pretty well. So here on the left-hand side, we have I don't even know how to call this how to call this color, maybe lime. So reading data from the clipboard, which has this strong upward direction here. And we can see the same in blue happening here. We can see also this little bump around March, May. We can also see this sort of reflected here, March, May. And then the other curve is for writing to the clipboard. You can see that they match pretty well, like not perfectly, but okay enough. So we're seeing that what we analyze statically does match okay enough for the things that we actually observe dynamically. I did this not just for one example, I did this for several, but just for you to get a quick overview, these are the two methodologies that we have for looking at data about Project Fugu API adoption. So Project Fugu, what is the perception? And I want to pick out one particular perception from the community that is pretty interesting here. And this is based on Mozilla's vision for the evolution of the web. So you can see the link in the QR code, webvision.mozilla.org/full. And I want to highlight something pretty interesting in there, which is this paragraph. So this is a wall of text. I will break it down and I will annotate it using Wikipedia standards. So you can see everything that I will annotate in yellow is something where citation would be needed. Everything that I annotate in, I'm bad with colors. This is lime, blue, I have no clue, turquoise, is a disputed section. So yellow, citation needed, lime, disputed section. All right, let's get going by looking at this. And I broke down the wall of text, and I'm just processing it one by one in each slide. So Mozilla wrote, much of the discussion around mobile capabilities has been driven by Google's Project Fugu, which aims to close gaps in the web's capabilities, enabling new classes of applications to run on the web, mostly by adding new APIs that provide capabilities that are new to the web. A lot of people jumped onto it in my Twitter timeline, some folks from Edge, and obviously, well, Project Fugu is not just Google's project. It's very much Microsoft's project, and it's very much Intel's project. And there's a couple of other contributors like Samsung as well. So Mozilla nevertheless wrote it's Google's Project Fugu. So this is a disputed section highlighted in line. Let me continue. While it is certainly the case that some applications which are currently deployed as native apps could instead be built as web apps if only API X were available, the evidence that this would result in a wholesale shift from native to the web is thin. Well, they even talk about evidence, but they don't give it. So this is a clear yellow citation needed. So what evidence are they talking about? Is there anything that they could cite to show that this is not the case? So to continue, to the contrary, the fact that developers choose to build native applications rather than PWAs, even when they do not need any special capabilities, suggests that this strategy will not be effective. And despite numerous new capability APIs in Chrome, developers still seem to favor native apps. So yellow, citation needed, developers still seem to favor native apps. Well, we have seen a couple of really, really amazing web apps recently. VSCode.dev, Photoshop.adobe.com, a lot more. And do we really see the same growth when it comes to native apps? So I would say citation needed here. And then again, despite numerous new capabilities, new capability APIs in Chrome, hey, what about Edge? What about Samsung Internet? What about like Brave? There's so many other browsers that are based on Chromium. Why did they write Chrome here when it's clearly not just about Chrome? So this is a breakout session. So I actually want to make a breakout session breakout. So the thing is, this is definitely an introvert-friendly breakout session because I'm as much as an introvert as anyone else here. Whenever someone says breakout session, I typically go down and hide below my desk. But this will be a breakout session that is introvert-friendly. So I want to form 4 breakout groups. And the task of each would be to discuss how can we fight the factual accuracies or improve the factual accuracies, and how can we improve citations to be added to debunk Mozilla's claims. So there will be 4 breakout groups. Google's Project Fugu, like it's not just Google, it's more companies than Google. There's this numerous new capability APIs in Chrome. Well, there's also Edge and Brave and you name them, Vivaldi browser. There's so much more. And then the evidence that if only API X were available would result in a wholesale shift from native to the web is thin. So can we find any citation here that would prove this? And the 4th one is developers still seem to favor native applications. Citation needed. So how do we make these groups? I'm doing something which is dangerous, and don't do this if someone tells you, but in this case, please do it. Open your favorite Chromium browser and paste into your Chrome DevTools console the following code: math.floor, parenthesis open, math.random, parenthesis open, parenthesis close, asterisk 4, parenthesis closed, +1. And whatever the outcome may be, you will go to one of the breakout rooms, which are not rooms, don't get scared. These are documents. So you will land on a Google Doc, and you can have the possibility there to discuss anonymously if you choose to, or with your Google account if you choose to reveal who you are, and then just write down, discuss, make comments on someone else's comments, and so on. So the links follow the structure: Google/BlinkOn16-Fugu1, Fugu2, Fugu3, and Fugu4. So run this code, take the first outcome, so to make it random, and hopefully have an even distribution, and join your Google Doc of choice, and of choice based on the outcome of math random. And it is now 45, so let's give ourselves 5 minutes, and let's come back at 5 minutes from now. So 5 minutes from now at 50 in my time. So 5 minutes, and I will meanwhile just minimize my window, and I can see people are here. No one is here. No one is here. No one is. Oh, there's a couple of folks here. Okay, so we're still short on people who want to discuss numerous new capability APIs in Chrome, and the evidence that if only API X were available would result in wholesale shift from native to web is thin. So maybe I should have used the crypto API, which has better randomness behavior. I don't know, or maybe people just didn't choose to go there. Okay, there's one person. That's great. So I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just bad randomness. Maybe it's just a not attractive topic. That's fine too. Okay, so I will shut up now. I will stop screen sharing, and let's just silently 5 minutes collaborate here and see what kind of things we want to improve. Okay, I see people on chat asking about the links. So let me share my slides again with the links. Sorry for that. Like this. Okay, so you should see the links now. goo.gle/blinkon16 minus Fugu 1, 2, 3, or 4. I'll just mute myself. I will make the screen big again in a second. All right, we're super short on time, but I quickly want to go through each document, but keep collaborating by all means. These documents will be open. So there's a lot of things going on here, how we could just, by replacing Google with the cross-browser, Chromium, a multi-vendor effort, so just changing our communication style, how we could improve the perception here that we're talking not about just Google's Project Fugu. I will have to go through this in more detail and probably also share what you come up with. this is mostly about what APIs have non-Google Chromium browsers, browser vendors proposed: window controls overlay, pickling for the async clipboard API, protocol handler, a couple of more APIs here, app shortcuts. But Microsoft, yes, for sure. We have Intel, who has taken over compute pressure. So there is definitely some more things here going on that are not just happening in Chrome land. This one is hard. Okay, so the evidence is thin without showing that they did researches. Yes, I absolutely agree. So here we just agree that this isn't easy and that they should have provided evidence. Maybe we will find some way to do this. And here developers still discover my friend working claims to get much higher. Yes, this is the typical argument, higher retention in app. But then if you look at what they do on the web, it's just horrible. There's a link that I will follow after the talk. Just if I give examples, yes. Okay, so I will have to follow up in detail, but thank you very much. Definitely, if you come up with more ideas, keep adding to these documents, and I will summarize what I learned from them. But now I need to continue because this is unfortunately a really, really short session. So let me jump in back to this. So thank you very much for taking part in this experiment, and also for risking to get pounded by me by pasting random stuff into your Chromium DevTools. Let me continue with a quick intro of the Project Fugu API Showcase, which you may or may not have heard about. You can see it by scanning this QR code or by going to developer.com/blog/fugu-showcase. And you will see there's a quick introduction. Why do we even have this? And then if you scroll down, the actual showcase is embedded as an iframe on the page. So it's meant to be consumed in the context of this page. I will talk about this in the Q&A if we have time, but the thing is meant to be read in the context of this article. It's not standalone. And you can see here, there's a way to filter for APIs. So if you click one of these chips, like for example, if you click the local font access API chip, the view down here will filter by just the APIs, by just the apps that use the local font access API. Or you can also just directly search for apps. So if you search for, I don't know, Adobe, you will be brought right onto the Adobe page here. Each of these apps are linkable. So if you click this little hashtag or whatever you call it, you will get a deep link that works in the context even of this iframed version here. So you can share, in this case, the Tinder application on the Fugu API Showcase. On a browser that supports the WebShare API, there will also be a way to share. So this is running in Chrome, but if you open this in Edge, for example, or in Safari, there will be a way to share your favorite application. You can also just link to all the APIs that, to all the apps that use a given API. So in this case, you can see I'm filtering on the badging API here. So this is deep linkable as well. And having just gone through the breakout session, the irony of this showcase living on developer.chrome.com and a common misconception being that Project Fugu is a Chrome-only thing is not lost on me. So why is this running on chrome.com? Well, the thing is, we're having here a big discussion. And I'm quoting here Rachel Andrew, who joined Google and who is our content lead. So the problem is a problem of messaging. How can we make it clear where the gaps in support are? How do we share new features without causing everyone to have to carefully research each thing to work out how well supported it is? Well, this problem is something that I'm keen, so she is keen on help with when we talk about features here on web.dev and on developer.chrome.com. So developer.chrome.com is, my lights turned off, here we go. Developer.chrome.com is the page where the Fugu Showcase is hosted. And the thing here is, I want the status of features to be really clear when you read our content and for us to provide practical ways to navigate support issues. We're working to focus our content on web.dev on those things that you can safely use in every browser and on developer.chrome.com where not. So a lot of Fugu features, by definition, are not like in every browser quite yet. There's definitely an objective to have everything in every browser, but as a matter of fact, by default, a lot of features obviously start Chromium only, and then at some point, hopefully, find adoption. So WebShare APIs is one example where we have increased adoption over the years. So this is the reason why develop.chrome.com was chosen for the Fugu API Showcase, because not all Fugu APIs can be used on all browsers. So this is Rachel Andrew, our content lead, who works on this clarification here, that our messaging gets a little clearer when it comes to what even is an API that you can safely use in all browsers, where you just baseline assumption everything works out of the box, versus something where you need to be a little bit more careful. So outreach, what have we done to increase our Fugu API adoption? Well, there's a lot of things that we and others from the community do. So I want to start with some blog post that a community member called Linda Ikechukwu, hopefully not pronouncing it too badly, has written on LogRocket, Project Fugu, 5 new APIs to try out in your PWA. So this was obviously someone, not Google, someone from the community who has written about this. We obviously here at Google do a lot. So here you can see a screenshot of my Adobe Creative Cloud talk, where I talk about how Photoshop was brought to the web. But we also have a community of what we call Google Developer Experts. So here you can see Christian Liebel, who you also might remember from the Web Almanac that I briefly mentioned. He tours the world literally with talks about Project Fugu. So this is just a random sample from a conference, I think in Munich in this case. And I'm doing the same. I'm not touring the world quite yet, so we're starting a little slower, but I'm helping with the next occasion here, the GDG DevFest in like virtual Ukraine. This is making me incredibly sad. But yeah, I have the pleasure of joining this effort to get some more developers donate for Ukraine. And I will be talking about the modern web and things that you can do there. And yeah, with that, I just want to say thank you. Please keep writing ideas into the docs that we had. And again, the slides are at Google BlinkOn 16-Fugu if you want to see them. I'm not sure if we have time for questions. I think we are almost out of time because the next session is coming up. But let's go to the chat. And let me stop presenting. Do we have questions? Let's see. I don't think we have immediate questions here. I am on the session chat. Okay, but yeah, with the time almost being over anyways, I just want to say thank you very much for being here. Thank you for contributing to the experiments. It's great. So there's still people on these docs. Definitely do come back and see what's going on, what ideas people have, and what people have shared. And yeah, enjoy the rest of BlinkOn. Thank you very much for being here.